So how does that web player fits in? Like this particular session is about web player. So okay, when you are building applications for Unity, the last moment you have when you are asking for a build, you have the option for different platforms. So when you go to the Unity web player platform, the final product would be a HTML compliant file that you can probably fit in anywhere, be it Azure, be it your common domain that you have. So the total file that compiles, it's get into the HTML converted version. So you will have to host it at any place. Say it could be Google, anywhere, Google App Engine. The resultant file would be an HTML compliant version. And to run your application for the first time, you need to download the web player. When the web player is installed, you will be able to run the application anywhere. So that's how it goes. Now, probably everybody has heard about WAC. How many people of here have apps in Windows Store? So you people might have heard about what WAC is. WAC is generally termed as Windows App Certification Kit. That's being generally given to developers to check how the app performs, or will it get certified at the Windows Store level or not. So when you have your app WAC kit over at your place, you can run the test against your app and see that what are the issues you are facing. At the end of the day, you would have a compliant file that comes up that your app has passed the test or not. So this is primarily very important for everybody, because when you push the apps to store, primarily the first step would be that the app fails your Windows Store test. To start with, what you can do is like go in with the app, this particular kit, install it at your place, and when your app is totally done, like when it's totally made, you can run the script and check where are the errors and how can we rectify it. That would be probably the best thing you can do. So that's more of it, because as your app gets certified, you will be ready to get rolling in Windows Store. So the primary point is that when this app gets certified, you have a chance that the app passes the Windows Store's test. So your app is already there. You would be like that would be the very, very first happy moment of your life. Like, I have built one app myself and it's there in the store. So I had that happy feeling against, because I have around 60 to 70 apps in Windows Store. 350 for Windows Phone and around 15 to 16 for Windows Store 8 and 8.1. So that's it, all about. Any questions about Unity Web Player you can ask. Like any questions regarding that, if you have any queries.
Is it a freeware?
Yeah, of course it's a freeware. Until and unless it's a freeware, how would you like install it to all of your versions? Like you have Google Chrome, you have Mozilla's main the browser, so everything is free. So that's all about it. Any questions more? Any requirement, like if you want to know any links?
What will be the minimum system requirement to do that?
It's not minimum system requirement would be that you should have that Core 2 Duo processor and all. It's not very high end. It's easily available because it runs on the browser side. So that's it. So let me start off with Project Anarchy, because how many of you have heard about it, like Project Anarchy? Any idea like how what's there in your mind, like when it comes to your mind, what comes up, like what it is? Ready to say anything about it? Any knowledge? What perception do you have about it? Like when you start off as you know about little about it, anything you can share, like how what it is or like that. So let me just start up. Project Anarchy is a game engine that's totally free for mobile platforms. So it's totally an application that you can have at your site to develop mobile apps at any place. So AAA, same condition you have in Unity, it's there. Next. So what it is, it's primarily a game engine that's powered by Havok. So when you say Havok, there are games like Assassin's Creed, people may have heard about it, Uncharted, like The Second Son. There is an integrated Havok engine in there. So when you power up that engine across your application or the game that you are building, it's totally a high-end application you are giving. And probably this is the best bet because nobody from India has pushed up an app to Android store or the Tizen store with this kind of settings. So if you people can come up with some very valid ideas or good applications or games, say you would be skyrocketing to the markets. So that's the best bet. And it's free for the Android and Tizen platform. So probably I would say that when you download Project Anarchy, I will share the link. It's around 5 to 6 GB that would be required. But with that exposure, what you will have is that it's basically based on C++ and Lua. So you get a new scope to learn languages, a scripting side that is very fast, and C++ moreover than that is a very fast language to compile. And fully compliant with the Android architecture and Android on Intel architecture, so that the app gets installed to your ARM devices that you have. It's very easy to use. The primary focus areas when you are concerned with programming would be Lua scripting, C++, and VC++ 2010 Express Edition that would work for you. Because what happens is that the game development portion, the same that you have in Unity, Unity has a little window that we develop across, like the primary window where we do the stuff in Unity. So that is the same window can be divided across at Project Anarchy as vForge. The same tools or same set of things happen. So both of them are comparable but of different natures. So you would with that you would have exposure to Lua scripting, because Lua scripting is a very famous scientific language that's there in the market for a long time, and it's very fast. And no need to tell about C++ because C++ already is a fast language. So when you have the app totally done, like up and running, it will be very good for the market, and as well it will give you very good revenues because the game moves very fast. So when you download the particular application from Project Anarchy site, you would have assets that are available for free and you can use it. There are a lot of examples to explore, and when you just have a good grip on that, you would be able to extend it. So this is the Project Anarchy link. You can download the Project Anarchy link from this particular website. There are certain videos also, so that you will be able to set up, and also there are free videos from zero to hero, where you start up as a beginner, and at the end of the day or end of the session, like there would be around 10 to 11 videos on zero to hero sessions. It would start from a beginner's point of view and end up at an advanced level. So if you follow those videos and compile the projects, I think you would be able to produce a very good game about it. So what are the compliant issues, like what things are required for that? If you are setting up for the Android environment, Project Anarchy, you should have the Android ADT bundle installed in your computer. You have to get it done, installed from the Android ADT website. That's the developer website. And you need to have the platform that's for the Project Anarchy purpose would be the Gingerbread version. So 2.3.3 is the minimum version, and you see if you are building an application in 2.3.3, it works for other versions also. Say if it is Android KitKat 4.4, the application looks very brilliant, I would say. Then you would have to have the NDK R9 version installed and the JDK. If you are not using VC++, you can install Visual Studio 2010. So these are the things, like when you are moving, and particularly when you are setting up a computer. Like many people have Java installed in a computer, I guess.
Yeah.
How many of you? Like, so probably probably when the Java gets installed, you have that environment variable set up at the end. The same thing you need to have for the ADT root and NDK root. JDK root is already there as you have installed the Java version. The minimum version would be 1.6 for that. So that's you. In order to use these prerequisites, Visual Studio, when compiling, you will need to make sure that the 3 environment variables should be set up. That is, ADT root should be done, NDK should be done, and JDK root, so that you would be able to pull up an application and start working on it. That's all about like opening the projects and environment variable setup. This is the most important part, because you miss out on this, probably you will be missing out on the next application that you are building. You'll face some issues. So I would recommend that there is a particular, as you people are more interested on knowing software to the next level, you have registered across at Microsoft.com. This is a particular software site Intel has, software.intel.com. Same kind of resources. See, there are a lot of things happening over here. You can have knowledge about Internet of Things, Android, HTML5, Windows 8. So Windows 8, you have all the Microsoft thing covered. There are a lot of examples to explore. Just register here. You can use those examples, reuse it accordingly, and develop. This is where you can. This is the link, and I will be sharing the slides across so that you will get to know about it. So, what will you get? Like, it would be when you register at software.intel.com, you have more scope for developers, more tools to learn from. There are a set of tools that you can use for your projects, and you can have a very good output out of it. And more on Windows 8.1. Now, this is a particular thing that's come up. It's called Intel Indy, and it's totally a new version, that's beta version that's coming up. Why I am suggesting this is that this particular IDE has a lot of things integrated in it. So when you try to use it, you will have like all the available softwares integrated inside it. So what actually is Intel Indy? Intel Indy is a beta release of a powerful cross-platform productivity suite to quickly and easily create applications targeting Android and Windows devices with native performances. So you are having a particular toolkit that's like you're targeting an app for a Windows particular platform, and you have like battery issues for that. So when you optimize your application running C++ side of it, you can have an outstanding battery life for that particular app. And if you have an application that runs very well with your battery that's being provided, the common issue with today's applications are the things running in the smartphone is that it kills your battery fast. So if you optimize your applications for this kind of platform, your market stay for the product will be very high. At the end of the day, the application that's there in the market, it's very useful for others, would be currently very accepted. So that's a primary point. And what you will have apart from that, Intel Indy integrates into popular IDEs. When I say popular IDEs, I like Visual Studio, Android side, and other things. And it's a C++ Java compliant tool. So probably I would ask that C#, how many of you are familiar with C#? Like maximum people are using it. So as you know more about object-oriented programming, learning C++ would be an easy learning curve for people. So you can have it look how it works. And it's targeted to the ARM-based Android devices. So that's more of the thing. Here is the link to get it. When you register software at software.intel.com, Intel Indy, you will have a license that will be valid for I say 2015. Till 2015 you will be able to use it, and apart from that when you just install, you will have a key over it and you will have the software installed. So this software comes with around 1.5 years validity. So 1.5 years, I probably say that you would have more time to learn about it and develop certain good things out of this particular ID. So the best feature would be that as C# has come with the 14 version, so all of the full C# 14 compliant libraries are there in that particular application. So Intel ND you will have the C++ 14, every compliant libraries or keywords that coming up with the new C++, you could be able to use it. And apart from that, if you are trying to build up application that's using threading across, because threading is a major concept over here. When we are using in Windows 8, we come across the term async and await. So when you use async await, it commonly makes the application runs with one thread at the back end. So the application doesn't get killed. It runs in the back end. So whenever you are using it to call back, you can just call up the application back. So Intel threading library is totally free. And here is the link to learn more about it. It's www.threadingbuildingblocks.org. So this would be the environment setup when it comes up with. You have 3 options to choose from. Like you can have your setup for Microsoft Visual Studio development environment. Either you can check it for Android Studio development environment or Eclipse development environment. So primarily everybody would be targeting this because Microsoft Visual Studio, everybody is very familiar how it works. So this would be like a starting point for every developer, because people know more about Visual Studio than this come across. So when you start installing the application, it automatically detects your NDK path, and if you are targeting for Visual Studio, it would have your Visual Studio path installed. When you click next, the total environment setup will be there. So that's an overview about it. More sessions would be there for future C# events, like we will be pulling off a little more of the things that are coming up. And that's my Twitter handle. You can just add me in. And about me, I am the only Intel software innovator from India across all of the continents that we have, and currently being awarded for Intel RealSense and for the new stuff they are doing, and a vibrant society they are trying to pull up with developer community. I would suggest that I have some demos across. I will show. I will show it in Ultra.
Okay.
So I will show how the game works like. So until and unless you have an exposure how it works, you would be thinking that how the things behave and all.
Switch on the lights.
So I have a question. Like in case of Unity 3, that
Yes.
Our clients need that web player to run those apps.
Yes.
If you develop something with Intel IND, then something extra has to be installed for the client to run them.
No, not at all. But the thing is that there are a lot of dependencies, like Android SDK needs to be there and all. Until and unless it's there installed in a computer, you won't be able to install Intel ND at your place. Like,
That means Indy is basically a plugin.
it's not a plugin; it's a cross-platform IDE that combines all of the powers of other things. You won't get the threading block as of free. Like you can download it, but it's embedded within it. Maximus.
Full of them.
So this is the like the version I have installed in my laptop. This is how it looks totally. So you have a GPA frame analyzer. It's totally free. GPA frame debugger. How it is required when you are building applications that are more graphic oriented, you would have it for this. And for GPA frame analyzer, the requirement is a bit higher because when you are targeting towards the new generation graphics, your application that runs in the particular processor should support Intel Iris Pro or high definition 5000 Iris. So it would be more suggestible that if you have a 4th generation processor, it would work. Apart from that, if you are considering the environment setup,
Scroll down.
scroll down.
Scroll down. He's not.